one, they're now 6 months, so they're sitting up in the bath quite happily, and you don't have to be holding them like that. But you've left the towel over there, and you turn around to get the towel, and they go whoops, and they're completely submerged. Don't panic, they're not drowning, they are just submerged. So get them out, sort them out, go and get yourself a nice cup of tea, they're absolutely fine. If the same thing has happened though, and they've fallen into the pond, you will need to get them out swiftly and carefully, and you will need to treat them for mild hypothermia. So take off cold wet clothes, put on warm dry clothes once you're out of the cold. So you wrap them up, give them a warm drink. If they're old enough, give them some chocolates, and a nice warm chocolate is good. You wouldn't put them in a hot bath. They can have a bath later, but you don't want to get them too hot on the peripheral because it can actually cool them down inside. So you want to warm them up from the inside first. Okay, so that's treating mild hypothermia. Be aware as well that little ones can't regulate their body temperature, and if you are taking someone out in the pram or whatever, and you haven't put enough clothes on them, that it is possible in our lovely British weather to end up getting mild hypothermia. And what will happen is that they will get colder and paler and quieter, and you'll sort of be looking, and then they'll start shivering, and you'll need to bring them in and warm them through. Okay? Right, back to the child in the pond, if they were in the pond and they were unresponsive in the pond and unconscious in the water, then you would need to get them out really quickly, like this. Ideally, with the head lower than the stomach, if you can, but don't wait for any water to drain. And the moment you are on dry land, you would start resuscitating. So the moment you've got onto dry land, you would tilt the head, lift the chin, do your 5 breaths. Usually on breath 1 or 2, if it's warm outside and they haven't been in the water that long, they will start to cough and splutter and come back to life. If it is cold, they will not come back until they are warm enough. So you will need to do your breaths, your compressions, your breaths, compressions, your breaths, compressions. You will need to grab something to throw over them. Anything else, don't strip off cold wet clothes, just throw extra stuff on and keep going. Do not give up on someone that's cold and wet, and keep resuscitating. And the chances are that they will start coming back to life. As soon as they start showing signs of recovery, roll them over and let them cough it up themselves. Anybody that has been unconscious in water must go to hospital. I mean, with little ones, you're not going to hesitate. But if it was, one of your mates and you're mucking around at a swimming pool and they fell in and something happened and they needed to be pulled out, and one quick breath because they were unconscious in the water and they came round straight away and they threw on fine, cool, that was a near miss, wasn't it? Up to 72 hours they can seem completely fine and then suffer from secondary drowning. Wow. So they must go to hospital, really? Where we will x-ray and check that the lungs are not complaining about what has happened.
So what is secondary drowning then?
It's inflammation. No, it's inflammation of the lungs, so they'll have real problems breathing.
Oh.
Severe, acute problems breathing.
So if you've become unconscious in water, etc.,
you need to go and get it checked out.